Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing? I hope you're doing well. I I'm a little late. Um I went to the gym for the first time in 3 months, and the miracle is I went. The next miracle is I didn't die. And I also didn't completely push myself, but my goal was to go a mile on this treadmill, right? And I went point a mile and 0.65. So it when you're only on the treadmill, it adds up a little bit more than what you normally would do. And I've never done one of those classes before. And the time before this that I was there, I went and I burned like over 500 calories, I think, or close to it. And I hadn't been there in like 13 months. And now it's been 15 months. And I'm like, but the hardest part is getting back into it, but hopefully I will be back into it. Just been a little 2024 was a little rough, let's just put it that way. But anyway, um so I went to the gym and then came home and just had to get ready for this. So hi Sunday Doodles. How are you? Good to see you. Tonight I just kind of wanted to talk about Benedict. And this is a case that really irritates me. As some of you may know, some of you may not, but my what I really want to do with my channel is obviously true crime. Okay? Like obviously. But being so close to the LGBT community, the LGBTQIA plus community, I'm, 95 to 98% of my friends are LGBT, okay? And I really, really do not want to bring politics into my channel ever. It's just ironic with what's happened in the last day in the government. And now here we're talking about this situation. Um, I I just don't get it. I think that people, as long as they are not hurting anyone else or themselves, or they know the consequences and they're not hurting anybody, then let people live their lives. Like, literally. And don't, and it costs the, this is the, with this case. Poor little Nex was what, 16 years old? Yeah, 16 years old. Non-binary American high school student who died the day after a physical altercation in the girls' restroom of their high school. Investigators later determined that Benedict's death was a unaliving of themselves caused by an overdose of Prozac and Benadryl. The incident was subject of national media attention, as some have argued Benedict's death was the result of anti-LGBTQ policies in Benedict's home state of Oklahoma. This is what just makes me mad. And when I say, like, I was bullied in high school, like school, high school, even, I mean, college wasn't much better sometimes, but I wasn't say I was bullied, but I was severely, high school was bad. High school was bad. So it just really irritates me when people bully people, and to any degree. According to Benedict's mother and friends, Benedict had been bullied by classmates about their gender identity for more than a year before their death. On February 7th, 2024, Benedict was involved in a physical altercation in the girls' restroom at Owasso High School in Oklahoma. The following day, Benedict collapsed in their living room and was later pronounced deceased. In late February, Benedict's death began to receive widespread news coverage, and vigils in honor of Benedict were held across the United States. Civil rights groups and advocates condemned anti-LGBT policies and rhetoric and called for an investigation of the Oklahoma State Department of Education, as well as the removal of Ryan Walters, the Oklahoma Superintendent of Public Instruction. Walters defended state policies and criticized responses to Benedict's death as politically motivated. On March 13th, a summary autopsy report by the Oklahoma Medical Examiner ruled Benedict's death a suicide caused by a substance overdose. On March 14th, family members of Benedict released a statement about how they did not want the finding of unaliving of themselves to overshadow the severity of Benedict's injuries from the altercation. On March 21st, Tulsa County District Attorney Steve Kunzweiler deemed the bathroom altercation to be mutual combat and announced no criminal charges would be filed in connection with the altercation or Benedict's death. In response, advocacy groups called for an independent investigation. On March 27th, a full autopsy report restating the findings of unaliving by themselves by a substance overdose was released by the Oklahoma Medical Examiner. It's just really bad. Like this day and age, the reason that the LGBTQ community is fighting so hard, obviously we feel the need to fight for, I don't know. I think it's a basic human right. I could be wrong. Politics shouldn't be in it. There should be no, I don't know. I think it's a basic human right. Things are the way they are. And I just don't, I don't know. I just get it. And listen, I'm not anywhere near, I'm not anywhere near that I grew up with, because I definitely did not. Um, I mean, I grew up in a town of all white people. So, like, hello, Scott. How are you? Good to see you. Um, and it, I don't know, it doesn't matter where you grow up. It matters not even how you grow up. Because my family was very conservative, very, tight. Um, but I just, I know how I felt getting picked on, bullied, and I don't like it for anybody else. Um, so it goes on to say Nex Benedict was born in 2008 in El Paso, Texas. According to Sue Benedict, Nex's grandmother and adoptive mother, Nex's biological father relinquished all parental rights early on and is in prison for abuse. Sue raised Nex since they were 2 months old and formally adopted them a few years before their death. Sue was enrolled in the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma, but Nex was not affiliated with the tribe. Hi, FarQ. Good to see you. Oh my gosh, I have 5 people. Thank you for joining me, y'all. Where was I? Nex and their family lived in Owasso, Oklahoma, a suburb of Tulsa, the Cherokee Nation reservation, and attended school at Owasso High School on the reservation. The high school has 3,000 students in grades 9 through 12. So compared to Nebraska, that's a fairly big high school. Um, that would be like one of the biggest high schools in Nebraska. In 2022, Oklahoma became the first state in the United States to prohibit the use of non-binary gender markers on birth certificates. Students are legally prohibited from using a bathroom that does not correspond with sex assigned at birth. And minors are legally prevented from receiving gender affirming health care. Now, that's a whole, the whole gender identity is just a whole nother can of worms that we're just not going to go into. Legislation under consideration for the 2024 session includes new curriculum for public schools to describe gender as an immutable biological trait, a ban on changing sex on birth certificates, and a requirement for school employees to use pronouns and names for students based only on birth certificates. Okay. So this is going to have to get political in a way. I don't like it, but it just, it's just getting that way. Ryan Walters, the Oklahoma Superintendent of Public Instruction, has implemented policies that include preventing students from changing the designation of their gender or sex in school records. In January 2024, Walters appointed social media influencer Chaya Rashik, the operator of Libs on TikTok account, known for posting anti-LGBT plus content, to the Oklahoma Department of Education's Library Media Advisory Committee. In 2022, a middle school teacher reported to have been greatly admired by Nex resigned after becoming a subject of post by Rashik. According to Sue Benedict and Nex's friends, Students at Owasso High School had been bullying Nex due to Nex's gender identity for more than a year. Since the beginning of the 2023 school year, Benedict was a sophomore in high school. Now, as far as what happened. On the afternoon of February 7th, 2024, surveillance footage from the Owasso High School hallway showed 6 students enter the girls' bathroom where the incident occurred before Nex and two other students entered. In a subsequent interview with police, Nex told an officer that while they and their friend were in the restroom, Nex heard laughter and comments about Nex and their friend from the group of 3 students they had previously complained to their mother about. It's awful. Next said they poured water on the group of the 3 students and then they came at me. They grabbed my hair. I grabbed onto them. I threw one of them into a paper towel dispenser and then they got my legs out from under me and got me on the ground. Next said they were then beaten by the students and lost consciousness. Next told the officer they did not know the names of the 3 students and said the group had antagonized them for days before the altercation. Next said they had only known the students through an in-school suspension they were all serving, and Next said the group were all first-year students. Sue Benedict said she was contacted by Owasso High School and arrived to find Nex with bruises on their face and scratches on the back of their head. Sue was also informed that Nex was suspended for school for 2 weeks. Sue then took Nex to be examined at a nearby hospital, summoned the Owasso Police Department. If anybody wants to join me up here, you can. If you have anything you want to talk about or related to the subject. Sue told the officer. All right, let's continue. Told the officer about past complaints by Nex about 3 students in the week before the altercation, and that Nex had described the conduct as they're making comments, they're throwing stuff, they're calling us names, and Sue told Nex to ignore the students. During the interview, the officer asked Nex why they had not past conduct of the 3 students to the school, and Nex replied, I didn't really see the point in it. So Nex knows that even if they say something, nothing's going to be done. They already feel this way. I wonder why. Weird. Let's continue. Where was I? The officer indicated it was possible the incident might be seen as mutual and Nex could face charges if Sue pursued charges against the 3 students, also stating that the other students had no right to put their hands on Nex. Sue declined to pursue charges at that time. The officer also said he could be contacted and reconsider filing charges if after Nex was examined their injuries were more severe than scrapes and bruises. Nex was discharged that day and reportedly went to sleep with a sore head. Not much better today and no tolerance school here. So, Nex goes to bed with a sore head. Okay. On February 8th, the day after the altercation, while preparing to travel with their mother for an appointment, Nex collapsed in the family's living room. Sue called 911 saying that Nex's eyes had rolled back and Nex was struggling to breathe. Nex had stopped breathing by the time EMTs arrived and was declared deceased at the hospital that evening. So now we go into the investigation. Dan Yancey, Owasso police chief, said that no report of the incident was made to the Owasso Police Department prior to the notification at the hospital. A search warrant dated February 9th resulted in the collection of 137 pictures from the school. My 12-year-old gets so much from a group of girls. Girls are mean. LOL. Yeah, they are. Everybody's like, yeah. Girls are really mean. But yeah. Boys are, yeah. So a search warrant dated February 9th resulted in the collection of 137 pictures from the school, 2 swabs of stains from the bathroom, as well as records and other documents related to involved students. In a February 20th statement, the Owasso police spokesperson said school staff and students were being interviewed by detectives. The spokesperson also said the police investigation would be provided to the Tulsa County District Attorney's Office to review for prosecution. In a February 21st statement, Owasso police wrote on Facebook, while the investigation continues into the altercation, preliminary information from the medical examiner's office is that a complete autopsy was performed and indicated that the decedent did not die as a result of trauma, and further comments on the cause of death are currently pending until toxicology results and other ancillary testing results are received. On February 21st, a police department spokesperson said, hallway video. Oh, yeah, kids are very mean. Yeah, and I was short. I was like not even, I mean, obviously I haven't grown any since either, but I was only not even 5 foot, and they called me midge and picked on me and like called me ankle biter, like mosquito puncher, midge, shorty. Like, I know shorty's not that bad, but I mean, every single day, like there was something, and it was just awful. So, on February 21st, a police department spokesperson said hallway video from inside the school showing Benedict before and after the incident had been reviewed by investigators. February 23rd, the Owasso police released footage from school surveillance, officer-worn body cameras, and audio of 911 calls made by Sue Benedict on February 7th and 8th. The spokesperson for the Owasso Police Department said in a statement to Popular Information that the medical examiner had not explicitly said that Benedict's death was unrelated to the head injuries, and that the Owasso police had reached out to the examiner's office in order to head off national scrutiny. On February 23rd, Yeah. On February 23rd, in a statement by their attorney, the Benedict family said they were independently investigating Benedict's death. On February 27th, an Owasso police spokesperson stated to NBC News that medical examiner's office had not ruled out the fight as a possible cause or contributor to Benedict's death, and added that people shouldn't make assumptions either way. So then there was an autopsy on March 13th, and the Oklahoma Medical Examiner's summary report was released, ruling Benedict's cause of death a unaliving of themselves from a combined toxicity of 2 pharmaceuticals: diphenhydramine, which is an antihistamine and a sedative commonly known under the brand name Benadryl. So Benadryl and fluoxetine, which is a SSRI, which is a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, antidepressant known under the brand name Prozac. On March 14th, family members of Benedict released a statement through their attorney and said they had reviewed the complete autopsy report and did not want the ruling of unaliving to overshadow other findings in the report, saying rather than allow incomplete accounts to take hold and spread any further, the Benedicts feel compelled to provide a summary of those findings which have not yet been released by the medical examiner's office, particularly those that contradict allegations of the assault on Nex being insignificant. The medical examiner found numerous areas of physical trauma over Nex's body that evidence the severity of the assault. Following the release of summary autopsy report, the police investigation was reported to continue into the school bathroom incident and whether Benedict was subject to gender-based violence. On March 21st, Tulsa County District Attorney Steve Kunzweiler announced that no criminal charges would be filed in response to the altercation on February 7th and Benedict's death on February. He stated detectives had assessed the altercation as an instance of mutual combat, and based on the evidence collected, he agreed with this assessment. Kunzweiler also said police had found some brief notes written by Benedict which appeared to be related to the unaliving of themselves, and said the contents were of personal nature. Yeah, you would think. You would all think. According to Kunzweiler, the notes do not make any reference to the earlier fight or difficulties at school. So basically, okay, can I just stop here and ask y'all? If anyone wants to come up, please let me know. I think I pinned the link at the top. And also, hold on, let me. Let me, one moment. I'm also going to post something here. That is awful, FARQ. The high rate of self-harm in school-age students, you would think. You would think. If you would like to support the channel, aka help the channel out, get to my goals here, it would be very much appreciated. Oh, wait, hold on. I gotta find something out here. I'm just trying to get you guys my information here. One moment. Ugh. Okay, so I have pinned my Cash App if anybody is interested. I can also do my Venmo here. Hold on. Once again, I would really appreciate it. I have goals. And it would help keep me motivated to do more of this, advocate for any victim, and highlight the LGBT community. Because as we can see from this case alone, Lord knows we need it. And it's something I am proud to be a part of, that I'm able to advocate for my friends. And just for the community as a whole. FARQ, I can't tell you, but I can tell you that the rate of that is going up. But the rate of the LGBT plus youth is going up at even a higher rate. Especially in, like Nex, like they were, and I'm using the correct pronouns. I'm saying they, like some people don't get the whole, pronoun usage, proper pronoun usage, but like I do, and I'm going to respect that. Um, so we're on the investigation. Um, so there was a March 13th autopsy report. The district attorney came out on March 21st. So next would be they, them, non-binary. So non-binary, people yeah, don't identify either way. So they're neutral. Oh, cyberbullying is awful as well. Look at what happened to Tyler, like just another LGBT plus situation. Look at Tyler Clementi. Yeah, that happened in Day Doodles. That happened in Tyler Clementi's case as well. So, oh yeah. Social media is definitely a reason. Social media in general is a reason for rates to be higher. Unaliving of yourself rates to be higher. I think for Q, all I can say is sometimes. Now, I did my own research, so I mean, this is before I had 95 to 98% of my friends in the LGBT, but I did my own research, got it on my own. But I think some people have to know somebody, be close to the situation, and sit down and like have have somebody explain and like educate them. So if you haven't had that, I don't blame you. But if if you haven't had that, then I don't blame you. I just did my own research before I even had a lot of friends in the community. And then so when I got friends in the community, it was easier for me to understand it. So um anyway, um found some okay. Police found some brief notes which appeared to be related to the unaliving and said the contents were of personal nature. Kunzweiler also noted that the medications found to be the cause of death were legally available within the home Benedict resided. Yep, toxicology, unaliving of yourself as Benedict's manner of death, combined toxic. Okay. I think we're almost done here, and then we'll get to it. The medical examiner report also describes several injuries on Benedict's head and neck, including 2 contusions, 2 small lacerations, 2 abrasions, and hemorrhaging on the right cheek and ear. Other injuries noted by the report included injuries described as likely caused by attempted resuscitation, as well as various contusions and abrasions on Benedict's limbs. The report also stated injuries to Benedict from the altercation on February 7th were not lethal, in fact, no brain injury. Other medical examiners and forensic pathologists reacting to the report have suggested that though fluoxetine levels in the report were not necessarily alarming, diphenhydramine was likely elevated to ranges consistent with cases of death. On February 8th, early news reports following Benedict's death on February 8th were limited and misgendered Benedict. The LA Blade, an LGBT newspaper, reported on Benedict's death on February 19th, and more in-depth and widespread news coverage began on February 20th. The National Buck Angel. She transitioned from female to male in his 30s. The LGBT don't like him much. So a national hotline run by the Indianapolis-based Rainbow Youth Project reported receiving over 200 calls from Oklahoma in the weekend following Benedict's death, more than 3 times the usual amount, with many mentioning Benedict's death and most reporting having been bullied. By March 7th, contacts, so this is almost a month, pretty much a month later. By March 7th, contacts had continued to exceed the typical amount, including close to 100 calls and online messages after February 16th. According to Lance Preston, the founder of the Rainbow Youth Project, greater awareness of the services offered by the group contributed to the increase in contacts. In a letter to parents reported on February 16th, Owasso 2024. So what, tomorrow is going to be the year anniversary, I guess, of the altercation. So that's kind of why I chose to do this now, because it's around the time it happened. And yeah, I just feel so bad. Like, it's just awful. On February 16th, 2024, Owasso Public Schools said it would be increasing the number of security personnel within the district, updating their safety drills and rules, and providing additional counseling services for students affected by the death. On February 22nd, Owasso Police Department spokesperson Nick Boatman said that a number of threats have been made towards Owasso Public Schools following Benedict's death. Boatman stated that the Owasso Police Department had brought in several other agencies, including the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI, as part of a statewide task force to track down the individuals who have made the threats. Benedict's family issued a statement asking that threats against school employees and students should cease. They also requested that authorities take action in Benedict's case and called for greater action to address school bullying. Soon after Nex's death, the Human Rights Campaign urged the Department of Justice and Department of Education to request an investigation of Owasso High School and whether the school had unlawfully failed to address the discrimination and harassment to which Nex was subjected. On March 1st, the Office for Civil Rights Division of the Department of Education informed the Human Rights Campaign that they were opening an investigation into the Oklahoma School District and specifically whether the district failed to appropriately respond to alleged harassment of students in a manner consistent with the requirements of Title IX, and whether the district failed to appropriately respond to alleged harassment of students in a manner consistent with the requirements of Section 504 and Title II. A spokesperson for the school district said the district is committed to cooperating with federal officials and believes the complaint submitted by the Human Rights Campaign is not supported by the facts and is without merit. So, yeah. There's been several vigils. On February 26th, 2024, obviously, at least 40 students at Owasso High School participated in a school walkout, citing concerns about bullying and in support of the LGBT community at the school and in the city. One of the student organizers of the walkout, who is non-binary, told NBC News in advance of the walkout, "To me, it doesn't matter if Nex passed from a traumatic brain injury or if they passed from unaliving themselves. What matters is the fact that they died after getting bullied, and that is the story for so many other students. I've been close to ending it myself because of bullying. It's not new for so many students." And that's what's sad. I don't know. I just think I don't know if you guys want me to, go further into this, or if someone wants to join me or has anything to say about this. If you guys know about the case, it's just super, super sad to me. And you will see on my channel, I will highlight the LGBT community. They can really use advocacy anyways. And, you know, I just hope that I try to make a difference in, the crimes committed against them. Bring awareness, make a difference, support them, educate others. That's what this is all about. I mean, it's happening too much, it's happening too often, and we want to learn from it and try to help it as much we can. We're not, I'm physically not in a school, but things can start at home. Like if your child is, listen, if your child is a bully, like, it's not okay. Like, shame on parents that, raise children to be bullies and think that it's okay. The ones that, the parents that discipline their child for bullying somebody else, like, that's a different story. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the ones that say it's okay. Like, oh no, my child, like, come back and say, oh no, my child was bullied. Like, or I also, personal experience, but at the time when I was bullied, my parents were teachers, so I probably came from a little different situation than a lot of people, but my parents, like, when I was like 15, yeah, 15, 16, especially, I think it was really bad when I was 15, when I was a freshman. And I was new at this, I was new at the school. I wasn't new to the kids, but I was new to the school, as far as being there all day, every day. But they told me to ignore it. They're like, just don't let them bother you. Like, just don't worry about it. Like, I'm like, are you not going to, like, and I got mad at my parents, like, really mad at them for not, like, I'm like, Mom, like, you're in this school. Like my dad wasn't in the same school, but my mom was. My dad taught in another town a ways away. Um, and that was hard. But they would always say, ignore it or ignore them or don't let it bother you. To a 15-year-old, like, that's hard. Like, because when we're 15, like, we want to have friends. Like, we want to be a kid. We want to be accepted. We don't want to be bullied. We don't want to be, picked on, like, whatever. They told me, just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Like, let it go. I'm like, Mom, are you not going to tell the principal that this is going on? Like, are you not going to, like, Mom, are you not going to stick up for me? Like, God rest her soul. But, Mom, are you not going to stick up for me? Dad, are you not going to, tell them to knock it the hell off? Like, what? Like, no? The thing is, they didn't do a lot to prevent this. They knew how I was feeling. They didn't really do a lot to prevent it. But I can say now, personal experience, personal opinion, they were only preparing me for what was to come. And I really, really thank them. And I've told them this. I was like, wow, like, I had no idea that they were preparing me for the real world. Because if I would let those comments get to me then and something was done about it, I wouldn't have to deal with it. If I let those comments get to me today, it the way I did, I'd be in real trouble. Like, real trouble. Like, because I do still have that, like, I want to be accepted, like, whatever, but I will not, and this is recent, I will not be disrespected anymore. I will not. You disrespect me anymore, I can let you go like I don't know. I can let you, no matter who you are, you disrespect me. I, caveat, I do, I would say I give second chances. No, not everyone's going to like you. And guess what? Now, I don't care who likes me, who don't. Just don't disrespect me because I will stick up for myself. And if it's a second, second chance, whatever, I will let you go. You can apologize and try to make it right, but it happens again, you're done. I don't like to be disrespected. I won't be disrespected. And I really don't care as much what people think about me. I'm proud of myself. I meet my expectations. That's really I meet my I meet I meet my job expectations. I meet my expectations. That's all I really have to do. I pay my bills. I'm responsible. That's all there is to it. Um, but yeah, like, if I everyone deserves respect as a human. No, I totally get it. I mean, people that don't know. But I will say, as you said, everyone deserves respect as a human. And that's kind of all there is to it. Like, it doesn't matter if you're black, white, brown, or anything in between. You deserve to be respected. Male, female, and anything in between. You deserve to be respected. And you know, just let people be people. Like, let them be. Like, they can, if they're not hurting you, what's the problem? You know? So, um, yeah. So, as I say, as I've said a couple times, you're going to see me highlight LGBTQ cases. Also, speaking of the schedule, guys, like I made it out yesterday, or I've been putting it together for the last couple days, and I am booked until CrimeCon. Like, and that's just with the cases that I've wanted to do and my local cases that I've wanted to cover. I've found more and more, um, cases, local cases to cover, but the rest of the cases are going to have to be on standby. I do have a schedule of what I want to do. I don't know exactly if it's going to go exactly as planned. I can only go live so much, because I obviously have to work too. But I, put my Venmo Cash App in the comments. So if you'd like to help out, that would be great. I enjoy CrimeCon so much, and it's, a little pricey, but also I just I don't want to do it for the money. Like, this is not about the money. I would like it, I would like to make money doing it, but the main reason is for advocacy and awareness and education. I mean, Crime Time 101. Like I say, my parents were teachers. I kind of want to bring the learning side to this. And I as much as I respect opinions, I do respect opinions, but I also think that adult opinions can be talked out in adult manners. And if we can do that, that's great. But I will not play child games and have, attacks, and I won't no. Disrespect and attacking is not an adult way of doing things. So, and oh yeah. And I can respect you for being tolerant. If you have a difference of opinion, that's great that you are tolerant and respectful. And I appreciate that. As I say, like, you might have to just like know somebody and sit down and have an educated talk with them, or you might have to do your own research. Like, I did a lot of my own research and then I became friends with people, and then I got to know even more, and like it all came together for me when I knew people and knew their story, and they I'm not gonna, just because it's not me doesn't mean that it can't be somebody else. So, um, I'm not LGB or T, um, but I can relate to him. I really can, and I have found a niche of people, a group of people that, for the most part, I click with, and they've accepted me. I know drag queens, I know trans, just not kids. Um, I think with, yeah. Um, so I myself, and I've told you guys this before, I have done a, a little bit of drag. Um, yes, I know trans, older, just not kids. So I think that with transgender kids, it needs to be talked about with adults and talked about with doctors, and it needs to be done in a safe manner. And my LGBTQ friends will agree with you. It's not just something, it's a journey. It's not it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's steady, it requires a lot of, like, they have to go through steps to do it. We are old though and all think the same way about kids being involved. Yeah, it it can be, I understand how it can be hard to understand. As I have to do your own research a lot, um, and find somebody that knows. Some children really do know what they want. I mean, there's the very few cases that I know, um, I think children know what you want, know what they want more than we think. There was, look, Jazz Jennings, for example. Um, I think parents should help guide them to the right decisions and choices. Jazz Jennings, I think, is absolutely inspirational. Like how she knew at a young age, but the parents also were responsible and did it, like, also did it medically responsibly. I mean, it depends. Like, I don't know how old Jazz was, like 4 or 5, 6. I don't know. She was young. Yeah, it's some for, yeah, it's, yeah, some people have done it for the attention, which I don't know why you would want that kind of attention, but, because it's not all positive. um, but, I mean, none of my I don't think any of my friends that I know, no, definitely not a fad. There's been some people, yeah, I know that, but like you say, you got to really like know, like if you're involved in the LGBT community like I am, like these people are gonna know, like you know that it's not a fad for them. Yeah, they will be. They'll be fine. I know that they'll be happy, and that's, I just can't imagine. I can't, like, for me personally, like, I was a total tomboy. Still am not the most feminine woman you'll ever meet. But I can totally, I can totally get on with non-binary. I'm not, but I can totally get on board with their feelings, their thoughts, how you could be. I get it because I played football with the boys at recess, but I was too tomboyish for the girls, but too girly for the boys. And like, it wasn't really until like later in high school and earlier in college that I met these girls that, like, I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm just like those girls. And like, I was really good friends with them. And like, I knew, like, I'm like them. Like, I'm just a little bit more, but oh yeah, like I would never want to be, like, I don't, like, it's not in my psyche to want to be a boy. It's just not. I don't wear makeup. Nope. Nope. No makeup. I mean, not a lot of makeup for me unless I'm doing my drag. Um, the drag queens taught me how to do my makeup. I mean, let's just be real. Like, my drag queen friends, they taught me how to do my makeup. And I've been accused of, I've been, yes, back home. People ask my grandma all the time, well, she don't have a boyfriend. She's never had a boyfriend. Not that I haven't tried, honey. I tried. I don't, I don't, but I'm also not going to settle and I have standards. Okay. Okay. So there's that. No, that does not mean I'm attracted to women. Now, some women, yeah, absolutely. Someone, I can appreciate a pretty woman. I mean, who can't, right? But I'm not like sexually attracted to them. Yeah, yeah. Makeup. Makeup was definitely not my thing in high school. I had to have my friends do my hair and makeup all the time. My friends did that to me. I did not do it myself. My sister was better at, my younger sister was, I only have a younger sister, but my sister who was younger than me was better at her makeup than I was at my own. Um, I had a seventh grader do my hair for my senior prom. Okay. I mean, yeah. And yeah, no. If I, it, before my drag queen friends helped me learn how to do my makeup, I probably would have got laughed at too because I didn't know how to do it. Like, the blending is, a thing. The highlighting and blending and contouring and the eyes. The eyes are the hardest thing to do. I don't do it a lot. I only do my makeup when I go out, and I have not been out in months. And, even when I go out now and I'm not like in drag or, I just want to wear like sweatpants and a t-shirt, I'll just wear sweatpants and a t-shirt. And guess what? I'm going to put on powder, a little bit of foundation and some powder and call it good. Because those eyes take way too long. And if you're my friend, you love me no matter what. That's all I care about. And yeah, so I just think people should be able to be what they want, who they want, how they want, as long as they don't hurt anybody. And oh yeah, Adore Delano is amazing. Yeah, yeah. Just look at all the drag. I mean, some of them have their unique signature looks, like the way they want. But yeah, if you look at most any like drag queen, like you're gonna find top notch makeup. You just are. Like that's just a fact. I also know they spend hours and hours doing it. So they work really hard at it. I don't think they should be ridiculed for anything they do. Um, this whole teenage bullying of these kids, though, it's got to go. It's got to go. And I wish that this was treated a little bit better, a lot better. Because it sounds, I don't know about anyone else, but what I was going to say was, it sounds to me like the Tulsa Police Department or whoever the heck is involved here is trying to cover their boots. And yes, I just said boots. I didn't mean for it to come out that way. But yeah, um, they need to be more trained better in dealing with these situations with kids today, and gender identity is a very sensitive subject, and they're going through a lot, and they need to have positive guidance, I think. Not just whatever the person's opinion is, but guidance on what to do, how to deal with it, and just support, absolute support. And so, yeah, they just need support, love, and guidance. And bullying is bullying, and it shouldn't matter who's doing it to who. But as I say, you're going to see me, advocating for the LGBT um, a lot. And you're going to see me also advocate for other minorities too. I don't like my privilege. I really don't. And the more I get into true crime, the less I enjoy my privilege. Not just with true crime, but with everything, with a lot of other things as well. Hi, Matahari. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Um, but yeah, um, bullying has got to go no matter who you are. Um, the LGBT community can use even more help with advocating for um, basic human rights. um, nice. Um, but yeah, you'll be hearing more of. There's a few more LGBT cases that I'm going to cover and advocate for. Uh, but also, like I say, I am just booked as far as uh, topics go until CrimeCon. And that's just what I had planned in my local stuff that I, kind of want to get to before I get to anything else. That's just kind of a starting point for me. But we'll get to everything eventually. And then I don't know if it's going to go as scheduled or if sometimes we'll do a schedule switch or you know, a slapstick live or, anything like that. But I'm getting ready to get off here, Matahari, but you can catch the replay for sure. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Far Q, especially. Sunday Doodles, thank you. Scott, I know you were in here. You're always here, Scott, for me. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I just appreciate everyone's support. Hit the like button, share it, subscribe, support if you can, if you want, if you wish. And I believe we have a couple live scheduled for Tuesday, so look out for those, guys. And just remember to everyone deserves respect, and your gender identity is a basic human right and should not be frowned upon. And be nice to everyone. It costs $0 to be kind. And until Tuesday, I will see you all later and have a blessed and safe weekend. And if you see something, say something, report it to the police if you need to. And have an enjoyable weekend. And and if you want to message me otherwise, Far, you can. Always feel free, please. I love to talk to people about stuff. So, about my experiences, about my education, about my research. So, hope everyone has a great weekend. Be safe out there. And most of all, be kind. And good night.